Israeli prisons.
Administrative detention is what we call imprisonment without trial, and Israel detains people under this administrative detention law all the time. There are tens of thousands of Palestinian prisoners under administrative detention, and it's they who are on hunger strike, and that's why we're here today. And the reason why it's such an unpleasant and insidious form of detention is because you're not detained on any charge, there's no trial date, you haven't had a prison sentence, Israel can keep you there as long as it likes, and what it likes is usually a very long time. And often those people are in solitary confinement. And so that's why we're here today.
Jobs in Israel are advertised. You must complete military service.
Geneva Convention and of all the...
Palestinian hath not a Palestinian eyes, hath not a Palestinian hands, organs, dimensions, senses, affections, passions, fed with the same food, hurt with the same weapons, subject to the same diseases, healed by the same means, warmed and cooled by the same winter and summer, as a Jew is. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? And if you wrong us, shall we not revenge?
64 years, the BBC has not exactly played a very fair role. So their refusal to give proper coverage to the Palestinian hunger strikers is just part of a long, long history, and a struggle that we have to keep on having against the BBC and their completely biased coverage. If people remember just 3 years back when Israel was pounding Gaza, killing 1,450 odd people, Palestinians, many of them children, the BBC refused to put out the emergency statement from a group of charities calling for aid for the reconstruction for the Palestinians afterwards. That was just part of what they're doing now today in refusing to give proper coverage of the Palestinian hunger strike.
In prison in
You ask
Israel.
me how it is that I dare to take a side. You say I lower myself for pointing out that you have lied. You say it's tribal warfare, but I disagree. The dynamics of the situation are not difficult to see. On the one side is a fighter jet, on the other is a stone. On the one side is a slave, and on the other is the throne. For the many there are checkpoints, where foreign soldiers rule the streets. On the one side there is victory, but the people won't accept defeat. The word you need to know is occupation, the very definition of a land without a nation. And if peace is what you're after, let's not deceive. It'll come on the day the tanks return to Tel Aviv.
Food retailer in this country, and that is bound to bite and begin to make it.
And we're in this particular place today because we're protesting about the BBC's lack of coverage of this issue until last night. If you look at News at 10 on BBC One, which is the main news vehicle, there are very many overseas issues, much more trivial than this, that are covered. We are here to protest that they ignore any abuse by the Israelis. If, on the other hand, there's any action by Palestinians against Israel, you'll find it's right at the top of the news. So that's why later today we're going to submit a letter to the BBC management.
Against the brutal dictatorship of Saddam Hussein and the American occupation of his country. We also have Mohammed. We're going to be outside the American embassy.
Because Israel has always been given special status in many of these.
Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine! Free, free Palestine!
Embassy. There's a minibus going at 9:30 from Cornwall.
No matter how high and wide, their wall will fall. No matter how high and wide, their walls will fall. No matter how dark and strong, their jail will fail. No matter how dark and strong, their jail will fail. No matter who they employ to destroy and destroy. And every voice they snuff will not be enough. And every voice snuffed out, 10,000 more will shout. 10,000 more will shout. Palestine will prevail, will prevail, will prevail. Palestine will prevail. Palestine will prevail, will prevail, will prevail. Palestine will prevail. I said Palestine will prevail, will prevail, will prevail. Palestine will prevail.